Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. You can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. And welcome, my fellow Doctor Who fans. The Doctor Who family just gets bigger and bigger. There are many people concerned about Russell T Davies' 60th anniversary plans after seeing yesterday's trailer for the 60th. And I understand these concerns. Unlike YouTubers like Taris and other people who are mocking people with concerns about the 60th anniversary and calling them out saying you can't please Doctor Who fans. It's not about not being able to please Doctor Who fans. People have genuine concerns. And you know what? Secretly in my head, I had the same concerns when I first saw the on location shots of Catherine Tate and David Tennant and the late great Bernard Cribbins. And I was thinking, is this really a celebration of the RTD era rather than, the whole Doctor Who thing since 1963? Now listen, Russell T Davies is a very smart creative, and I'm sure he understands that an anniversary of anything is about nostalgia, and I think that's important. Well, you're celebrating something that's 60 years old, so of course you're going to be nostalgic. You want to celebrate as many of the Doctors and the companions and the best stories and all the great memories. You want to bring them back in that anniversary. So what you want to do is celebrate the past in that anniversary, then go to the future with Ncuti Gatwa's Doctor, which I believe is the plan. Now, we know very little about that 60th anniversary special. You may think you know loads because you've seen a trailer and you've seen some on-location shots, but you don't. You don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. Now, Russell has teased that there's so many things and secrets and surprises we don't know about, and I believe him. So he's under a lot of pressure, as Moffat was during, the 50th anniversary. I remember going into 2013 and he wasn't talking about anything. Nothing special had been kind of done during season 7. Season 7 was a season that the fans didn't really enjoy. It was a bit of a mishmash. We had the farewell kind of party, 5 episodes for Amy and Rory. Then we brought in Clara Oswald. It was a weird season. It was literally 2 seasons within one. So people weren't happy, but Moffat ultimately pulled it off with that great kind of biopic about how Doctor Who was created, an adventure in space and time. And then the Day of the Doctor was great. They shot it in 3D. They had it in cinema screens. It was on BBC One on the anniversary, November the 23rd. It was a great success. Moffat pulled it off. Now, really, I think Davies may be under a lot of pressure because Doctor Who is really a fractious environment right now. So you can understand why he's brought back Tennant and Tate and trying to really, kind of promote the good old days of Doctor Who. It's so people kind of forget about the Chibnall era and everything that some people didn't like. Now, I think it's a bit of a bumpy road when you decide to change the Doctor just before an anniversary special. Now, what made it easier for Moffat to do such a great anniversary special with the Day of the Doctor is that Matt Smith wasn't going to leave until the next Christmas special. That made things easier because that means you can jump off that Christmas special, you give your Doctor one final episode, then he goes. But they decided to change the Doctor before the 60th anniversary. This is very problematic. Now, I understand why they did it. It's clear the BBC did not want Chibnall and Whittaker to be involved, or should I say, for it to be their era during the 60th anniversary. Whether Jodie will be involved in the 60th is another mute point, because that's very interesting. Now, it doesn't matter if you like Jodie or Chris or not. Jodie has been the Doctor. She has every right to be part of the celebrations of the 60th anniversary, whether you like her or not. That's the end of the story. There's no fucking debate there, as far as I'm concerned. But changing the Doctor over before the 60th has given them a lot of problems. So they decided to go from Jodie to David because he's the most popular Doctor, since the show came back, at the very least. I think the most popular Doctor of all time has to be Tom Baker in my mind. But in terms of, this generation who grew up on David Tennant's Doctor, he's so popular. So Russell said, look, let's just bring him back. But they've made him the Doctor. He's the Doctor till November. So you've got Ncuti, who's probably going to be involved in the 60th somehow. So it's a bit of a mishmash. Now, with the Day of the Doctor, Matt Smith was the Doctor. You have consistency there. So do I think that Jodie should have remained the Doctor during the 60th anniversary special? It's a very difficult situation because it's a very, very fractious environment with Jodie and Chris Chibnall. They were very nervous about allowing him to run that 60th anniversary. Personally, I think he's a Doctor Who fan. Well, I know he's a Doctor Who fan, and he would have done a very good job, and he would have celebrated as much as he could on the 60th anniversary. Yes, I think it's a mistake to change the Doctor during a 60th anniversary special prior to a 60th anniversary special because you have no identity. You're leading from David Tennant, who has a lot of identity in the Doctor Who universe, yes, but he hasn't been the Doctor for a long time. So what you've done, you have created buzz and excitement. That's why RTD has done this. Bringing in David Tennant. Is he the real Doctor? Is he actually the 14th Doctor? Is he the Master? Is he the toy maker or whoever Neil Patrick Harris is playing? We really don't know, but yeah, so you create some kind of a mystery there and uniqueness and excitement, and people are asking lots of different questions, and it's really exciting. But you take away consistency by removing Jodie Whittaker. It's my opinion that they should have done what Moffat did very cleverly. Keep Jodie for the anniversary and then give her her final episode on a festive special. So if they didn't want a Christmas Day special, it could have been a New Year's Day special, whatever. But you understand what I mean. That would have given Chris Chibnall the opportunity to forge an exit for her and not be rushed to forge an exit for her. She gets to be part of these celebrations as the main Doctor. So, look, Jodie is not my favourite Doctor and Chris Chibnall isn't my favourite showrunner. But I do believe that Jodie is... Look, it's not about me. What am I talking about? I do believe Jodie has been the Doctor, and I think it says something about what the BBC think about the reaction to Jodie and Chris's era, and that's why they quickly removed them prior to the 60th anniversary. And as I say, I believe that's a problem because then Russell has to he has to do something different. You have to throw another Doctor at it. So you throw like the most popular Doctor at it and you hope for the best. Now, even though Peter Capaldi and Matt Smith have said they're not involved, I think they're lying, and I think they will definitely be involved. There's no question about that. People concerned that the Moffat era and the Chibnall eras won't be celebrated within the 60th anniversary. I don't believe that for one moment. Because even Chris Chibnall's era has many, many fans, and that's right. And if you're a fan of the Chibnall and Whittaker era, you're welcome on this channel. I respect you. I love you. There's not a problem within that. It's not my favourite era, but there's certainly things I absolutely enjoyed about it. And I still think there's some great Doctor Who in there somewhere. I think season 12 was really, really good. I think the season 12 arc was really, really good. I enjoyed the element of the Timeless Children because it brought something new to Doctor Who. I know that upsets a lot of people, and I've said before, William Hartnell is still the first Doctor because the Doctor, when the Doctor was the Timeless Child, they weren't really the Doctor anyway. So Bill Hartnell is still the first Doctor. It doesn't take anything away. It brings in something new and unique. I know people don't believe that, and probably it was ill-conceived to do the Timeless Child arc because it upset people, and you don't want to upset people. If you upset people to a point like hell, from Heaven Sent to Hell Bent, that's okay because that was Moffat's idea. It doesn't really break Doctor Who canon or anything, but obviously the Timeless Child does, and this is why it was probably ill-conceived, even though I didn't mind it myself. So if it was me, and I was looking at Doctor Who and I was thinking, fuck, the ratings have gone down since RTD has left. We need to get him back to put the pieces of the mirror back together. I certainly would still do that, but I do feel that probably, and people wouldn't thank me for saying this, and obviously a 60th anniversary celebration is very, very important. But yeah, And I understand why you would put RTD in charge of the 60th anniversary special. And I mean, I think RTD himself should have considered this. You know, how can we smoothly have me writing for Jodie Whittaker's Doctor on the 60th anniversary? The truth is, they should have used Jodie. Even if officially they had Chris and Russell writing the 60th anniversary special, you know, and Russell really doing it and Chris not, you know, Chris just filing pencils, sharpening pencils somewhere, you know, I think that would have been a smoother crossover rather than saying, right, we're going to regenerate the Doctor just prior to the 60th anniversary. And I think that's given them a big problem. So yeah, people are concerned that this is a celebration of the RTD era. In my reaction to yesterday's trailer, I did say it did seem like we're jumping off from where we stopped after the end of time. This could actually be the end of time part 2, but who knows? But yeah, it does seem that way. So obviously we're using, you know, literally the end of time as a jumping off point. That's a fact, you can see. But obviously we don't know a lot about this special. So clearly there's a lot more to this special. It's clear the premise and the story is there. This is the story, right? We've got Neil Patrick Harris, we've got David Tennant, we've got Catherine Tate reprising her role. That's what it's going to be. Now, through this premise, because we don't really know what's really going on here from a trailer and some on location pictures, so we really can't be acting like, oh, we know what's going to happen. But it's clear that what we're seeing is the premise of the episode. But through this premise, they're going to use this premise to actually celebrate 60 years of Doctor Who. And we want to see as many versions of the Doctor as possible, versions of the Master as possible, companions. We just want the whole 60 years celebrated as much as possible. And if, you know, I don't know why we've never seen Carol Ann let me say that again, Carol Ann Ford, you know, as Susan, you know, why she hasn't, you know, come back as that character, you know, in the past 17 years of the revival. That's weird. Does Carol Ann Ford not want to do it? Do they not want her to do it? I've never understood that, why they've never brought Susan back. So these are the things you need to celebrate. Then you bring Ncuti in, either in the middle of the 60th anniversary or he's there all through or whatever they're doing. I don't know how they're doing this, but then he's the one who's taking the thing on. Is Millie Gibson's Ruby Sunday going to be involved? I suspect we may see her. She was promoting the 60th anniversary trailer on Twitter yesterday, so that could be a clue on that one. Look, I'm very, very excited about the future of Doctor Who. It's in good hands. Russell T Davies is a genius, but there's no question about it. When people see kind of his era coming back and him literally celebrating his own stuff, I understand why people are concerned, and he really does need to celebrate the other eras, not just the other revival eras, but, you know, classic Who as well. And so that's going to be very important. So just one trailer and some on-location shots, you know, don't make a 60th anniversary. We have to wait and see. And I don't think it's too early to have a trailer. I think you need to promote this thing because they want to get the general audience back watching Doctor Who and loving Doctor Who again. So we haven't really, look, you ain't seen anything yet. This is just the tip of the iceberg. So people shouldn't be getting overexcited. But I do absolutely understand people's concerns about this situation. But I think everything will end up well. We had like very similar concerns with what Moffat was doing with the 50th, and that ended up really good. So I think this is going to be great. And we saw in the trailer that Ruth Madeley's there as well, so that's very exciting. Obviously, having a disabled character in the show, it's good to represent disabled people as well. So that's very exciting as well. But mostly, it's Doctor Who's 60th anniversary at the end of 2023, November the 23rd. I can't wait for it. I think it's going to be awesome. I think it's going to be amazing, but there's nothing wrong with having these concerns. But clearly, Russell T Davies wasn't going to have a premise of a 60th anniversary with kind of the foundations being from the Moffat or the Chibnall era. He was going to use what he's already done. And he understands that Catherine Tate and David Tennant are very, very popular with the general audience. I mean, Catherine Tate's well known even before she did Doctor Who anyway. So this is why we're launching this whole thing via David Tennant, because he's known, he's popular, and the general audience love him. And that is the whole point. This has been Movies TV Mad. I am Mick, your host with the most. Just ask your girlfriends and your wife. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss this beautiful perfection. And I'll see you again in the next video. Until I see you again, goodbye, au revoir, auf Wiedersehen.